Athletes are very good actors. They manage to put on a very good front.
What truly goes on in an athlete's life.
You have to score in football to be mentioned.
Many people think that if they go abroad, they have to go for the money. So Zach, how has it been? To be honest, today is my first ever podcast. You know, I'm very excited because this is going to be a very long journey for us. We've been working very hard for this, and I'm very happy for you to be the first guest. I know you passed through a lot these past few months, and I got you here today to explain to young athletes what truly goes on into an athlete's life. It's not as easy as people say. I'm an athlete, but I'm not as pro as you, and I want you to explain to people what's happening. So how are you? Have you been? How have you been?
I'm living. It's first of all, it's a pleasure to be the first guest. I'm looking forward since that first coffee or tea rather.
Yeah, tea.
Between us two. Looking forward to see your journey growing, and it's a pleasure to be the first one to share my story. I think there's quite a lot to share. There's quite a lot that goes on behind the curtains every single day. Sometimes athletes are very good actors because they manage to put on a very good front despite all the things that go on behind the curtains. So hopefully you throw in the right questions and we get out the right answers.
For sure. And I to be honest, did some research about you. Good. Not only on the internet but with some people too. Obviously you came back, right? You're back in Malta. That's why you're here with us today.
Yeah.
You were playing in a very high level football environment. We'll talk about that later. But family. You came back to family. This is the most important thing, obviously, everyone lives for. The thing we wake up for. And seeing our parents there by our side is the most important thing. Thankfully, we have what we need. And we should be very grateful. So yes, just explain how you felt coming back to Malta, parental situation.
So basically, I left Malta to play abroad just 10 years ago. So it's I think exactly 10 years ago, probably December. So it's been a long journey, but in those 10 years I never had more than say 3 weeks at a go in Malta. So this was a big one. There was the situation actually after, see what happens, like there's another black period where I blacked out. You know, there were another 2 months, 3 months of a summer after the year I got promoted with Casa, where I spent 3 months in Malta, but I did not spend 3 months in Malta. I was not here mentally. I thought I was getting somewhere, or rather getting something more than I not expected, but I think we'll go into it later.
So how long ago was this?
This was 3 summers ago.
And when you say you weren't here mentally, in a way of you didn't want to be here, is it more because you were a bit depressed, lonely? Were you a bit lonely?
I think it was. We just got promoted with Casa, and who lived through the story would understand that I went there from 3rd Division Portugal to 2nd Division. I was contracted like a week before the league started.
So
it was the year.
Season.
Yes, it was the first full season after the pandemic. I went in with a very, very, very low wage, but I said, listen, I have to get into a higher league, sacrifice, get in the playing time.
Can I ask, because this is very important, because many people think that if they go abroad, they have to go for the money. An approximate amount would help the audience see that, listen, he sacrificed, you know.
Yes, well, I've never actually spoken about it, but the first contract I had with Casa, we're talking about after paying obviously the house and the car. I was living in Lisbon, so they weren't cheap, but they were post-pandemic, so not too bad. I was, I would say, cashing in less than 1,000. a month.
Crazy. And this was third league?
This was second league.
Second league Portugal.
Second league Portugal. But I was a third league player going up to second league. Technically, we had come first in our league, but then pandemic hit, and for some reason we didn't get promoted. And then I decided to go for Casa because I just wanted to play in a better division. Casa gave me life in Lisbon, which was amazing, but it also gave me a lot of sacrifices because financially it wasn't the best. But then there were good bonuses from the club. So the other players were getting good wages, but I was there to prove myself. But I have no problem with that. I've never had a problem with proving myself wherever I've gone. I've gone there as the underdog. I've gone there as the fourth centre back. I've finished the league first 11, apart from last season. But yeah, it wasn't very productive in terms of the financial part. But all throughout my career, probably like the last couple of years were like really decent. So when people think they're going to go abroad and everything's going to be nice and
big clubs,
big going
names.
from a Maltese club to a big name, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. For me, it's never worked like that. At least the Maltese passport does not help. The 185 centimeter height does not, for a centre back, does not help. I've got a very specific playing type, which is different to the mainstream. So everything has to fall in place. Everything has to fall in place. But the conditions we had at Casa were amazing. They were improving. We were treated really good. 2 good seasons there. And going back to the point of that summer, after 2 seasons at Casa I mean, the second year contract was much better. It made up for it. Nothing huge, but made up for it.
Yeah.
And basically, they did not want to keep me for the second season. But I said, okay, I'll come in. Give me less than the others, once again. And I'll come in as the fourth centre back. Okay, no problem. You're coming in as the fourth centre back. You might not play a lot this season. Okay, no problem. I won't play. Okay. I signed, went in as the fourth, didn't play the first 3-4 games. Went in a couple of times. Ended the season first 11, played a run of I don't know how many games. I was vice captain, so everything went. I was captain for most of the games as well.
This is when you got promoted.
This is when we got promoted
to the first league of Portugal.
Promoted to the first league of Portugal. Once again, they decided not to keep me because, let's face it, from at that time I was very angry. But seeing it from a club's perspective, I mean, it makes sense. I'm not commercial. They're not going to sell me for millions, so why keep me, you know? So I had to go on looking for something else. But I was expecting something like a different market, you know? Promoted, best defense. Okay. It didn't happen. Maybe I made the wrong choices in terms of agents. Maybe I expected more. I don't know. But I think that everything happens for a reason. That summer passed by very slowly. I wasn't very present for my family. Even though I would be present physically, I would be waiting for my phone to ring. It wasn't the best version of myself.
All right, let's go back to the start, because we had mentioned one very important thing, which is family.
Yeah.
So this may be a very difficult topic because many people pass through it, and it's not as easy as many people think. But your parents were divorced.
Separated.
Yeah. You're very young. 6 years old.
6 years old.
So the upbringing wasn't as hoped.
Yes.
In a way of connected family.
Yes.
Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, my parents were separated since the age of 6 years old. And unfortunately, I mean, that shaped me, you know, It shaped my beliefs on different things where it comes to family, values, relationships. My parents have been amazing throughout. So there's never been a drop which I've needed and not been provided. But these things happen nowadays, and it's a shame from the perspective of the little Zach who craved a united family.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a fundamental part of the reason why Zach made it where he made it. I think it's forced me to be independent from a young age, and that's made it easier for me to adapt, going abroad, finding my own way in whatever I do. And yeah, I mean, I'm blessed for whatever I have. I'm blessed for whatever I had. I have no regrets, and I love my parents. I think just as so. They're my parents. They've been there through every step of the way, and yeah, it's the first time I'm talking about it, so I get a bit emotional. I get a
For
bit, you know, maybe a bit sweaty as well.
Yeah, it's normal because you're not the only guy who passed through it,
Yeah.
and I understand.
Yeah.
I wasn't too young, but yeah, you feel like, and you're far from your parents as well.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
listen, time's running out of our life because no one has eternal life.
Yeah.
And you start thinking like, what if,
Yes.
anything happens and I'm here. So
That's
these
all.
things-
That's always been a really, really huge weight which I've squashed down for a long time. And I think this summer I've really managed to embrace it. Again, the 2 months I mentioned before, 3 months I mentioned where I wasn't mentally here, I think were a good lesson for me to be here this time. It's been longer. It's been a learning curve. It's been difficult, but it's been very interesting, and I think I had an experience which strengthened me, and this made this time a bit easier for me as well.
All right. So now you're a free agent. All right.
Yeah.
From playing First League Portugal, which I want to elaborate on that first, and then we're going to the free agent.
Okay.
So from zero to hero, you can say, and then a hit,
Yes.
which I believe that hurt you a bit.
Yeah.
So explain your experience in First League Portugal. How did you feel? So you were with a club, which is
Parents.
you got promoted.
Yes.
You stayed with the club.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? You played a whole season with the club.
Yes. I think that was the first time I really felt like valued. And like I said, in where everything happens for a reason, the mistakes I had before, I did not repeat. So where with Casa we got promoted, but on my contract there wasn't the clause for, say, a contract renewal in case of promotion. I did it with Farenz, and with Farenz the contract renewal was automatic, but they had absolutely no problem with doing it. They were happy to do it. They saw my work ethic. They saw how I integrated, how I helped. I mean, the last batch of the season was very interesting because we were second. So basically, the first two get promoted directly, and the third one goes to a playoff. We were second. We were second with a good lead of the third place, so we were easy. We had lost a game, and our coach got sacked because, I mean, the backstory was there wasn't a huge relationship between the coach and the president. And from there, we had a new coach who we ended up getting promoted with and stayed for the first season in the first league with, who had a very old school style of play. He kept the same first 11, and then these last two games where the other coach was sacked, I wasn't playing, so he had kept the same first 11, so I wasn't playing.
For how long?
We weren't doing well, and I think I was out for, say, I think 9 games. Rather out, I mean, I would come in for either 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're someone like me, and you want to play 90 minutes every weekend. But yeah, it was a hard period, and then we were losing our spot. We lost our spot in the second place. We lost our spot in third place. I think we were fourth place. And the next game, we had lost against twice. We had lost against the team which was lost. So we lost it against the team that was lost. They got 3 points of us and they went up. And then we played against the team that was lost and we lost it against them as well. And I'm there like waiting for my chance, waiting for my chance. I had gone to national team, played with national team, came back. And our first match was against the team that was first. And he put me in his first 11.
You had played national team.
I had played
That
national team.
window.
I had played. I don't think I had played the 2 full games, but I had played one of them from the beginning. I believe we had played against Italy. I'm not 100% sure, but it was that window, I believe. Went back, starting 11, played against the team that was first. 1-3-1. I scored, and from then on, we end up breaking the league record with 8 straight wins from that game until the end. We won all the matches. We got promoted directly, second place.
Started all.
Crazy. Got my place, stayed in there, won all the matches, got promoted.
Best defense.
Best defense again, twice in a row, 2 promotions in a row.
And now you're like, fuck it, let's go. First.
Yes,
let's
yes.
go.
And then it was
It's time. After 3 seasons.
3 seasons in second league with 2 promotions. It was finally the time to live my dream and play in a top league in Europe.
What's
At the age of 30.
so good, huh?
Yeah.
Where's it ranked?
I believe it's between 6 and 7, depends which ranking you see. So I think it's just below France.
All right.
Yeah. So France isn't in the top 5. Then there's France and Portugal. But on some rankings, Portugal is ahead. I mean, Portugal is they're crazy in the markets. They have so much strength nowadays in the last 2-3 years. Sporting have made, I think Sporting it is, they've made the highest budget out of the highest revenue out of the top European leagues.
I saw something.
Yeah. Portuguese coaches are going everywhere. So definitely the Portuguese league is gaining momentum. Yeah. So it was. I mean, I played against World Cup winners, so it says it.
Now,
Oh yeah.
you hit the first league.
Yeah.
First game of the league against.
Casa.
Oh.
But it was actually
So they survived
yes, they did.
and in a good place.
They had a decent season. I think it was like 10th, 11th place.
All right, so
Decent season. Mid-table. The first game was against Casa.
home or away.
Home, we lost, but it was a beautiful day.
Started.
I started. Again, I was not in the first 11 in pre-season. Again, I won my place, and I started the first match against Casa. Half the team we got promoted together with. The staff on the bench I got promoted together with.
Emotional, so
It was a very emotional day. We lost, I believe, 3-1 or 3-0, but I was so happy after.
Yeah.
I made it to Premier League. I played my 90 minutes. I had a good game despite the result. I played on the pitch with friends. I mean, I played on the pitch with probably the best friend football has given me, which is a Bosnian guy.
Shout out. Yeah.
Shout out to Nerman Zolotic.
Same age.
He is actually 93, born in 3, Bosnian. He's played with a couple of games with the national team of Bosnia. He's doing really well. Unfortunately, he too is now being sidelined with Casa. But like I said, if you're not commercial nowadays in football, it's you get sidelined. It's not just about what you do on the pitch.
We have to understand as well.
Yes, you either adapt or you fall behind.
Because as a football player, we as footballers, we just see our side.
Mhm.
Sometimes, there's that slight little percentage where we see our side.
Yep.
But football is a business,
It is. Yes.
so under 17s, under 15s, the youths, the academies, I understand they're also a business, but it's a stepping stone then to play senior team football.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that it's not just a game.
Yeah.
You know, so as footballers, I say, listen, it's a game. You know, enjoy playing, but listen,
No,
there's much more to it. You know?
there is. And I think you understand it more once you mature in the game, once you see both sides of it. Probably once you become a coach, you see a different perspective. If you get into business, you see a different perspective. And definitely, it's hard to see, but it's part of it. And if you want to be part of you want to get a piece of the cake,
Yeah.
you have to adapt to that.
If you're into something literally every day, you have to master it. So if it's on the pitch,
Yes,
it's
yes.
it's your physique.
Yes.
If it's behind the closed doors, you have to master everything.
Yeah, of course. And I've always been an advocate of, listen, if I give my 100%, so I'm like, I hate talks where the coach comes in. He says, today the 100% is not enough. We have to give 110%. 110% does not exist. You only can give your 100%. You only can give your 100% on the day. And the only thing you can do is work to expand your 100%. Your 100% can become more, but it can never be 101%.
Yeah.
It can only be 100%. And the 100% for a Maltese defender must be way, way, way more than 100% for any other I've come across in my career. We always have to do way more, and I've always been fine with that. I've loved it because it's pushed me to limits where I've seen myself improve year after year after year. And looking back, I say the player who I was, say, in Birkirkara, and I would think I could play abroad easily. I know that that player could not be playing abroad, but the same player, the same mentality, rather, the same wanting to improve in a different context would definitely make it abroad, and he has made it abroad.
Yeah. So you're in the first league now,
Yeah,
right? You're in the first league. You're motivated
yeah.
more than ever, I think. If you want to elaborate more on that, maybe it's not what you expected. Maybe you expected much more, or it's too over you at that point in time. For example, I'm gonna go back to no, I'm gonna go forward to the Benfica game
Yeah.
played away,
Yeah.
which I saw and I just made some research about.
Mhm.
You played alongside, so I had an agent. You played alongside Mateus, right?
Yes,
He played with you that game, no?
yes,
He played an amazing game.
yes.
And I watched the game. You were good, very good. Although the stadium was packed, how many thousands?
Probably around the 50s.
Explain the experience, you know, from the bus to the stadium to touching the grass, everything.
So, yeah, the Benfica game was a special game. A couple of friends of mine came to watch. They were in the stands, Maltese, packed stadium, usual atmosphere, usual butterflies before a match, making sure you don't make a mistake. Before you mentioned something where you're saying maybe you didn't expect, or rather you expected different. And I did actually. I think no, I wouldn't say the Portuguese Primeira Liga is overrated. I think it's, as a league, it's seen way more than it actually is. If you take off the top guns, so you take off Sporting, Benfica, Porto, a surprise every now and then, which is usually Braga or Vitória Guimarães. The rest are pretty much the same level. Okay. Now, Farense was a situation which was very different. So basically, they're a financially stable club, but depending on the president, because the president takes care of everything. And basically, they have a huge project. So they are building a hotel.
So it's still upcoming.
It's upcoming. So they have a hotel plan with a huge gym and 7 training pitches. It's going to be a training center in the Algarve, which is going to be massive. It's going to be amazing. It's going to house some of the biggest clubs, but it's in construction and it's the training grounds. So we would meet every time at our the stadium, the local stadium in Faro. Get the bus, the team bus, go to train, which is like 25 minutes away. Train there, go back on the bus to the stadium, and then if you have time, you put in your gym session unless you've done it in the morning. So there was a lot of, I would say, wasted time. An hour in a bus every single day
Yeah.
is long. Added to the fact that we were one of only two teams in the south of Portugal playing in the Premier Liga. So every fortnight you're traveling 5, 6, 7 hours in a bus to go to an away match, and then coming back,
Yeah.
piled on a 1 hour every single day to go to training.
Yeah. I had gone to a trial with Boavista.
Okay.
It was a cool experience. One of my very first experiences. Club was nice. Stadium was amazing. For a club of its history,
Mm.
had amazing values. And when I was there, they had an away match with I'm not sure where, but the traveling was insane. They were like, listen, we have to go, we have to play away. I didn't understand north, south, east, west. I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to understand that many different teams. But from what you're saying, yeah, I understand that
Yeah.
it's a nightmare from
Because
south.
Basically, Portugal is just a really thin, I would say, piece of land attached to Spain, which is just like vertical, and you literally have all the cities on top of each other. So, and football started in Portugal in the north, in Porto. It was taken down to Lisbon, which is the capital city, and basically it was then transferred a bit to the south. But what happens then? All teams are concentrated near Porto, So, like I said, every fortnight you're traveling to Porto. Every fortnight you're getting on a bus, 6 hour trip to a match. You play the next day and you have to come back another 6 hours. So that's 12 hours on a bus, plus a match.
So every
15 days you're doing that. It's basically that every single 2 weeks. Lisbon's 3 hours away, and then you've at least on that year there were no teams on the islands. This year there are 2 teams, I believe, on the islands. But yeah, traveling is a lot, and you pile that onto 1 hour every single day. It's just extra. So, and even then the conditions in the dressing room. I mean, I've mentioned this quite a few times, and it makes me laugh, but I guess it's part of it.
Yeah.
You mentioned the game against Benfica away, home match. I didn't play, but Di Maria was on the pitch. Otamendi was on the
But
pitch.
even
So
when you played away, you played against them, no?
when we played away, I was not. I did not play. No, I did
You
not play.
played.
I did not play. I was on the bench, and I know because some people came to watch, but
Wait,
I didn't
when
not
you
play.
played away.
When I played away at Benfica, I played full match.
Yeah, exactly.
When I played home,
I
yes. When we
missed out,
played
yeah.
home, Farenz Benfica, I did not play, and essentially there was Di Maria on the pitch. So you're playing against a World Cup player, and then I go in the dressing room, and I have to get into my car, go home, and have a shower at home because there's no hot water. So and it happened quite a few times, and there these details which frustrate you. They would tick the boxes on so many things. We had our own nutritionist, which was there with us every day. Anything you need, he gives you. We'd have our packed lunches. We would have
The essentials were there.
the essentials were all there, and you can see the growth in the club. You can see that in the next couple of years they'll have facilities
There's the
competing.
potential, like,
They'll be competing with the best in Europe. But
that
yes, definitely. But the transition is not so rewarding to be within. Piled on top of that, there's a coach who had a totally different style of play to what I enjoy playing. A very direct
so you,
match, so
Right.
you don't really play out the back. At the point, there was a survey taken which put us as number 1 on the list of direct balls forward. On the same list, Manchester City were the last.
shit.
So it was a very good indication of what the coach wanted and what he did not want. And that's part of
What he needed.
that's his style. Okay, so that's what he knows. He's going to train that style. You have to adapt. We didn't really enjoy adapting, but it's part of it. And you either adapt or you're on the bench. From my end, I adapted to a certain point, and then
Like I'm not.
it's it's a shame because now it's transfer window again, and I'm sending my video around from last season, and it's just like it's not me. You know, the
Yeah.
playing style I was doing last season was not me.
You're looking back, not upset, but in a way like, listen,
Frustrated.
I'm sending.
I
Yeah.
could have done much better. I could
Yeah.
have done much better. So going back to the Benfica game, if we had a bit more information on playing
Remind me
style,
the score.
the score was 1-1.
That's
Yes, yes,
That
it
that's
was.
felt incredible.
It was amazing. It was huge.
Fans.
We did so much at the back. We had traveling fans, which you would hear. I mean, they were. I it's like I am envisioning it at the moment. They were in some corner on the top of the stadium, but you could hear them throughout the match. And we were honestly giving it our all. We had, and they still have, a phenomenal goalkeeper, which ended up being called up with the national team.
Portugal.
Yes,
Who's he?
Ricardo Velho.
Right.
Yeah.
They had or you had?
They still have. He's still there. But he was there in that game, had an amazing match, defense had an amazing match. We managed to score on a set piece. And
Was it Mateus?
no, it was actually Falcao.
All right.
Yes. And I think he had assisted maybe. He had given the corner actually.
Shahajek.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And basically it was the rest of the match. I mean, what do you expect against Benfica? You're going to defend. But we defended with all our hearts till the end, and it was just
So
such a rewarding.
yeah, it feels rewarding. And usually when I come up to games, and I feel like so much pressure, like listen, it's not for me today.
Yeah.
And last game I played, it was against a good club, and again, actually against the national team. It was Albania. And I was like so calm, like bring them on, you know. It was literally like a training day. Totally different person.
Yes, definitely.
So-
It's mostly in the head.
So that was that what you felt, or were you like, listen, pressure is high?
I think in games like this, it all comes down to the first pass, first challenge, and then how good you are on either taking it into your stride, or if it doesn't go to plan, switching it up.
Exactly, because how was your first challenge? I like, for example, if you go on one-on-one with De Maria, like, bam, I'm here.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
wake up, I'm here.
Yes, yes.
And then the first
Mm.
hit, you show him you're there.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
let's go.
I think I had 2 challenges with him consecutively in the box, and I remember after that I'm like, wait, what did I do now? Di Maria, okay,
Showtime.
because the class on the guy is just ridiculous. He only has 1 foot. He only has 1 foot, but the 1 foot is probably worth more than probably all the other feet of the players on the pitch on the day. It can do. It's magic. It's magic. And seeing it, I saw it once playing, and I mean, you're focused on it, but not so much. But the home game, which I saw from the bench, you see him do certain things. Like he switched off, and then out of nothing, out of the blue, he just invents some action. And he was the driving machine for Benfica the whole season.
Don't forget, not his prime, huh?
Yes, definitely.
You know,
Definitely,
so
definitely.
he had won the World Cup already, no?
Yes, he had him and Otamendi had won the World Cup already.
So they won it already.
They had won it. Both Otamendi and Di Maria. They had won They were in the same team.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. So season ended.
Yeah.
Did you play Porto?
I played Porto. I think it was the second or the third game of the league, and I think it was the second actually. Away, Porto. 10 minutes into the game, a ball comes. I don't know what got into me. I decided to do a bicycle kick.
Oh.
Diogo Costa just touches the ball and goes onto the crossbar. I was gonna If I scored that goal, I'd probably still be running around the pitch.
Ah,
It was a good game. We lost 2-1 on the 103rd minute, so we were given 12 or 13 minutes extra time. Plus another, I think it was a long match because we had like 7 minutes in the first half and 13 minutes in the second half, and we lost with literally the last kick of the game 2-1.
that's a sad ending, you know.
Yes, but it was
Especially against like you 1-1, right?
yeah.
Against Porto. Not saying against. Listen,
Yes, yes,
Grande
yes.
team. And
It's
then
very
2-1.
different. It's very different. But also we get out of the match with like, listen, we came here, we did our job, we're doing well. And by that time we still hadn't won a point, but we know like, listen, we're working really well. They'll come. No worries. And we actually went on to have a really good first round. The first round was pretty amazing. And we were I wouldn't say safe because of the first round. But the second round wasn't good at all. But we were fine. I don't think there were any issues on relegation battles. Um,
So you survived.
yes,
Survived.
yes.
Season's over.
Uh-huh.
And then
Yeah. So again, I don't know if I made a mistake in terms of agents. If I made a mistake in terms of expecting too much.
you don't know yet.
Um, honestly, maybe I should have adapted to the market. Maybe I should have promoted myself in a different way. But the offers I had, and honestly, I say it hand on heart, I do not regret saying no to the offers I had because they weren't the situations I would have liked. They were financially good, decent, some of them very good financially, but they weren't the conditions I was looking for. I didn't ask for much. I asked for a professional setup, a professional team in a pretty competitive league, and I wasn't asking for it. I would not have said no to those conditions because of the money. I had absolutely no focus financially. It was literally I want to feel like a professional player. I don't want to play against a World Cup winner and then have to go and have a shower at home.
Yeah.
I want to have my gym at the stadium. I want to have my own routine. I want basically at Casapia, I was much happier for one simple reason. I could go outside on the pitch, so we'd have breakfast together, and then have training later on. But I would go out on the pitch and do my 1v1 with a friend of mine, or after training, or get a box and just work on my technique. I couldn't do that in Florence
Yeah.
because we meet at the stadium, and God forbid you step on the pitch.
Uh,
So I can't go out on the pitch and I can't work there. I can go in the gym, which I would do every day.
of course.
But there's more to do football than just gym. And then you come after training, you can't stay longer at the training grounds because you're all on the same bus and you have no transport to get back.
Yeah.
So there literally was no way for me to say, listen, I don't know, like, give me somewhere where I can go and work on
Yeah.
myself. And that's a shame because training with the team is enough for any other player. It's not enough for, unfortunately, in my case, a Maltese defender. We have to be much better than the competition, much better. And
Yeah.
like I was saying, I'm such an advocate of, listen, if like set the bar wherever you want, I'll go and do better than that. But like give me the basics to work, and I have no problem with a challenge. I've always been faced with challenges, and I think I've done pretty well. I think going back, I think I could have analyzed my games a bit more at Farense. I think it was probably the first season where I would not go and rewatch every single match of mine to see where I could do better or not because literally there was a very small margin of how I could improve because there was no training I could do extra. Our coach would not focus on certain techniques. So it was I don't like sounding negative, but it was very, very difficult to keep improving. And it was not my perspective only. It was very team, squad mutual.
Yeah.
Um, but we had such a good dressing room, and that brought us forward to reach our goals.
The dressing makes a difference.
The dressing room nowadays, I think there are so many coaches out there, but there are so few man managers.
I don't know where I heard this, but when it comes to Ferguson,
Yeah.
he was not only a very good coach. I'm not a supporter of United.
Okay.
So you can't notice that when I'm on Ferguson, you can say, listen, this guy's a United fan, but I'm not. But what I saw is that the management, the man management, what I believe is very important when it comes to players and a team is that you have to have at least a conversation with your manager, which is so important because we're not just on the pitch.
Yes.
We have our families, dogs, cats. So you know what I'm trying to say.
That is something which before this summer I was not able to see. So I think until end of last season, for me football was the be all and end all. It was life equals football, and that's it. And I think football is still my priority. I think it will always be because I miss it so much. I just want to get back and play. I just want to feel like a footballer again. I want to feel the adrenaline of the match, the butterflies of the match. But I think I put aside a bit too much along the way for what I've gotten out of it, relationship wise. So I think I just could have been a bit of a more social, more social person, because I hardly go out, which isn't a bad thing. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying like going out is bad, but there's a limit. Like going out for dinner with your teammates here and there is very good for the team spirit. Staying in every single night because you have this huge goal, it's limiting because you end up not creating those bonds with your teammates, and you're away from family, you're away from friends, you're away from any sort of relationship, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy at the end of the day. And when football is not going really, really well, you're just in a downward spiral.
Yeah. That's why I think it's important to have this conversation with at least a coach or
Yes.
management.
Yes.
It's important.
I think it's important also for your coach to receive a conversation. If the coach does not know how to converse, that's very difficult.
So before we continue, I'd like to give a special thanks to Show for their amazing graphic design and branding expertise. If you want to start your own brand from scratch, they provide branding, graphic design, fonts, color schemes, and more. And they'll drive fonts for you. Let's continue the podcast. Going back to end of season.
Yeah.
Free agent.
Yes.
All right. Issa, I would like to ask, was there any type of mental health you had passed through? Is it more on the depression side? Is it more happier side because you try to find yourself? Elaborate.
So, from the end of last season till today, I
Which
think
was how long?
I think that's about 6, going on 7 months. Too long. I think it's been a huge roller coaster, an amazing roller coaster. One of those where you come out saying, "I want to go again. I want to go again," because the first month and a half, it was pretty dark because I went into a similar spiral that I had after Casa, thinking that I would be able to get a contract which would fulfill all the sacrifices I've done. But I think you get to a point where you realize it's not just you. There's an agent in the middle, and the agent's working for you, and you sort of lose control. And I'm someone who likes control. I have to have control, and as much control in every situation as possible. So once you take away control, I don't know what to do. And in this case, I had already done one of the summers you know, the classic um, looking for contacts through all the social
LinkedIn.
media, LinkedIn
Yeah.
and everything, and the LinkedIn agents. They're amazing. There are so many. They all have the best contacts direct with the
Yeah.
director.
Yeah.
They don't have.
Yeah.
Um, it depends, or rather, it depends on what type of player you are. They will not find the right solution for
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 you.
me, for someone coming out of Primera Liga. They probably would have been amazing back when I wanted to leave Malta, but not when I'm out of top tier Portugal. They won't have the solution for me. But anyway, I went through the period of um, trusting my agent to find the right move for me. Time was passing. He wasn't coming back with the right answers, despite him being really, really positive and courageous and reassuring that he's going to find me the best situations. He did not. Um, Time kept passing, and I was like, "What's going to happen? What's going to happen?" National team came. I'm, with,
Questions from there too.
I'm without a club, of course. Questions, the questions, oh, the questions. Every single day. Friends, family, people you meet in the street. And in the beginning, it's like, "La, what a good season you had last year. What's the coming next?" And like you're like, we're waiting, we're waiting." Then that we're waiting becomes nothing yet. That nothing yet becomes
I don't know.
I don't know, and it becomes very frustrating because the questions never stop until I'm gonna sign. They're not gonna stop. So there've been 7 months of questions. Now my closest family, friends,
They
they
skipped
understand.
but they skipped the asking too.
Yes, they take a step back. So I've been open. I've been very open. Like, don't ask me if I don't tell you anything, it's because there's nothing. I'm the first person who wants to get out of here and get signed and start playing uh, and continuing my journey. And I have a lot to give back. But there was a period where I was fed up. I was gonna stop.
So
Um,
you were close to
I was very
saying,
close. I
listen,
was very close.
this one I did my job.
I
Thank you so
was I
much.
was very close. And I think the
And how
very
long ago?
closeness. I think the very closeness came 2 months down the line. I think it was the second call up of national team when I was still without a club. I'm like,
Against
um, I think those were the last. That for me was the last call up. Before then, they had games where I wasn't called up. So we went to have a friendly against Kazakhstan, but we did
you
not play.
played Bep, you were there. When they played against Oblak.
Yes, but that wasn't the last one. The last one was we were meant to have a friendly against Kazakhstan, but they didn't make it.
Yeah.
So we ended up playing against Balsan, like a friendly match. And then we had Moldova. Moldova, I went in last 2 3 minutes. We had won the match. Unfortunately, we missed a penalty, which would have turned the tables for us to qualify. But we still have the opportunity to qualify, and very positive that we will with the playoffs we have. But yeah, that was like probably the point where like now if nothing comes out of this, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
finished. I don't feel like it anymore. It's too much. I have to restart. I have to see what else comes up. And it came from a place not because I didn't want to play football anymore. I just didn't want to play football in an amateur feel, like semi-professional feel.
Which is where?
So I had situations. Um, I had options in Bulgaria. I had options in Serbia. I had options in Iran. I had options. Um, where else was there? I think there
You
was
said last time
Uzbekistan.
US.
I think there was the USL though, not the MLS.
USL two, right? Is it
mm,
the USL two?
USL, second league. Um, but to go from top division Portugal and to take a step down straight away the year after, I think maybe would have hurt my ego a bit too much. And that's maybe where I made a mistake. I don't know. I don't know if the next contract is in a place where I'm feeling like I'm a professional footballer. There's a fan base.
I wait, because this is a
There's
cool question.
yeah.
Right. What's next?
Mm.
Hint, maybe, for
Basically,
the audience.
I'm open. So at the moment, there's the Asian market which is moving. There are contacts looking for something out there. There's in the European market, it's very hard because many leagues essentially I'd be speaking to scouts or agents or actually the club, and they would like the video, so they would like what they see on the pitch, and then they either receive the passport, which is Maltese,
Ah,
or they receive the data, which is the fact that I'm not 190 centimeters tall, and they say, okay, it's gonna be hard. So I've seen asks from agents, rather, which come from clubs, which say 190 centimeters height, very fast, good on the ball, duels. I'm like, man, Virgil van Dijk is taken. Like,
come on.
what are you expecting?
Yeah.
But most clubs go for that, and if you're not 190 centimeters tall, they will not see your video. You can be coming from the lowest of low divisions. If you are really tall, they will see your video because you fall into those parameters. But anyway, that's part of it. And I had different markets. I have different markets. Like I said, I just don't want to fall too many steps.
Malta.
No. I think there were quite a few rumors lately.
Going back to the club.
No, I am training at the moment with Bricker Cara, but absolutely not at the moment.
Why?
It's not. It's just not. I have
Healthy, not healthy.
I have been blessed with the fact that back when I was playing here, I won everything. So I won the league, I won the Super Cup, I won the UBTFA trophy. So it's sort of like, and that's also something I have, which is a trait of mine, which is like I've been there, done that. Next, So it's like, even in Portugal, if I go back to Portugal now, I would 100% go to Portugal, because having another half a season, and then using that as a trampoline to go somewhere else, definitely. But I would prefer a different experience, and the reason why I did not stay on with France, because I wanted a different experience. And it's something where I know I'm 31 years old, so I don't have another 20 years playing football. With the way I take care of myself, I probably will hit, I hope I will hit the 37, 38, 39, 40 at a good level, depending on how my agents will work and how things go from here on. But I think that it's important for me to maintain a certain level of motivation, and personally I don't get it here. Also, living for 10 years abroad, just the life outside of the pitch, is also something I don't envision myself. So I always tell my parents, which they don't like as much, and I tell my family, which they don't like as much. I don't see myself living in Malta after football, after
Okay.
my career. I would use Malta, or rather live in Malta, to propel my career after football,
Okay.
because I mean, it's home, it's base, it's where all my friends are, it's
Yeah.
where my community is. But I don't see myself creating a family um, over here in Malta. I don't see myself. That is part of the reason why playing and staying here in Malta is not for me. Then there is also the level. The level is, um, unfortunately, not up to par to what I've seen in the last couple of years. I mean, Portugal, even Italy, second, third division Italy is more competitive, So it comes from a place of shame. I wish that there was that level here, but you're training on synthetic pitches. Most of the clubs,
Which aren't.
they're not even really good synthetic pitches. Some of them aren't maintained, unfortunately.
Yeah.
and we lose talent along the years because of that, and players get injured because of that, because they're not maintained. And we haven't realized that, listen, you don't need to invest millions in getting the best synthetic pitches or grass pitches. Get a decent synthetic pitch, but you need to water that pitch. You need to maintain the pitch. You
Yeah.
might need to lift the rubber. You need to change the rubber. There are countries which live on synthetic pitches only, but they maintain them. They're of a super quality.
Yeah.
They have them because of their weather. We have them because of our budget, but we can still maintain them. You know,
Yeah.
so it's
Sure.
it's the conditions are different. The conditions are different. The level is different. So I think because of that, the plussing all those together, the equals in my end is just a lack of motivation. And I don't want to be in a dressing room just for getting the money and being in a dressing room. And the guy next to me is Zach Muscat at 16 years old and wants to eat the grass and win every match. And I'm just there for the money. I don't think it's respectful. So it comes from a place of respect as well. Because I don't want myself to be there for the wrong reasons, which are so far off from the guy next to me who's there for the right reasons. So,
Zach, to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think your name in Malta is as appreciated as it's supposed to be. To be honest, because when you were abroad playing at the highest level, the name wasn't as mentioned as I wanted it to be, and I reached out to you because I was like, listen, this guy has a big pair of balls, you know, playing at that level. A few did, you know, and the few that did are like always mentioned.
of course, of course,
Always mentioned.
of course. But I believe my character is one of the. First of all, I'm a center defender, so you have to score in football to be mentioned. So, or rather, have a huge match and be in the best 11 of the week to be mentioned. Also, my profile is a very low profile.
But listen, played in a good league.
Of course, I played in a very good league. I played in a league which probably every other player in the league, Maltese league at the moment would give I don't know how much to play in. But I think it comes from a low profile from myself. It comes from the person I am on the pitch. It comes from being a central defender.
Do you regret
There,
it?
there are probably other things.
Do you regret it?
I don't think I regret anything. I don't think there's anything I regret. I think everything shapes me today, and I'm very happy of the person I am at the moment. So that being said means I don't regret anything that happened before. Um, I do believe there are other reasons why my name is not mentioned
As much.
as much, and there are other reasons where my name is maybe pushed to the back of the list. But I have no issue with that. To each their own, you
And
know.
why? Why do you think it?
I'm gonna go for a deep quote now, but like,
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, Jesus couldn't preach in Nazareth because he wasn't appreciated. Like, who am I to be sad because I'm not on the news in Malta?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's fine.
Mentioning that quote,
Yeah.
you found God, right?
Yes.
In the
yes.
past 6 months.
I think he was always to a certain extent there. He was always to a certain extent present, and probably there's a correlation between the times I've been in the dumps and the times he's appeared. Um, but just in the past year and a half, he was there in the pandemic, like present, like in my life. He's always in my life. But or rather, let me switch that. I looked for him more in certain periods. I think in the past 6 months, 7 months, I think I've just been constantly looking for him. I think that's the difference. Before it was up and down, depending on what's happening. I think now it's just every single day.
Longevity.
I think it's just every single day. It's the realization that I'm never happy when he's not in the equation, you know, or rather, I'm always happy when he's in the equation.
And when is he there though? Because when you say, all right, is it family? Is it relationships?
I think he's there in solitude. He's there when you're able to open up to him. And I think I have so many pockets of times where like I feel like 2 years ago myself would think I'm an idiot, but I'm just happy with the silliest of things. I'm happy with just being healthy. Happy with I had tendonitis in my knee, so when I go to mass and I'm able to pray on my knees, I'm like, oh, it doesn't hurt anymore, and I'm happy. I'm just grateful for that. And when you wake up and it's a nice sunny day, which we've been having so many of them lately,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. But then when you wake up and you see the rain, like, oh, something different, and it's very hard to explain in words. It's
It's more of appreciation.
it's just constant appreciation,
Yeah.
constant appreciation. Despite me being in a not so great moment, there's always appreciation. There's always a lesson to be learned. Um, I think me delving into the Bible has been very eye-opening. I think me shifting around my social media, following the right pages.
Can I ask? This is very important.
Yeah.
When was like the day you were like, listen, I'm gonna open it and actually try and find my purpose?
So it goes back to the time in Agrigento when I was playing with Akragas. So my first experience,
2000.
that's 14, yeah, 15 probably, yeah, January 15, yeah. So I was living alone. My first experience, the club wasn't doing it really well.
2016.
2016. Okay, so yeah, so it was like I don't know how to explain it. Things weren't so doing so well, going so well. So I just said, listen, I need him again because he's always been there to a certain extent. Because my family's always been religious. I've
Right.
been brought up Christian Catholic,
Right.
and I think he's always been a fundamental part. But he's always been a fundamental part, like in a traditional way, where you go to mass on Sunday, you say the rosary. I used to sit around at my grandparents' place, and they would say the rosary every single day. So I would get a lot of it from that. Um, and from then there was always pickpocketing here and there. But it was only the time when last year I bought a Bible where with the notes on the side, like where you can take notes. And if you open my Bible now, it's like a school textbook. So there's highlighting everywhere, there's noting, there's lines from here to there, connections.
Is that your journaling type of method?
I think it is. It's the thing I do first thing every single morning. So um, I always have a Bible with me, whether I sleep at my mother's house, whether I sleep at my father's house, whether I sleep at my girlfriend's house. It's always there. So and then actually there was a couple of nights where um, this week actually, yeah, this week, and I had forgotten my Bible because I wasn't sure where I was sleeping. So I'm always moving. I've always
Yeah,
been like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So and once I decided, so I woke up and I'm like, okay, it's my routine. So it's the first thing I do every day,
Yeah.
and I will read until I will read chapters until I feel that there's a lesson in that chapter.
Mhm.
So if there's a chapter where I didn't feel got anything out of it, I would go to the next chapter. Once I find a chapter where there's been a lesson, I would see that, I would read that, and I would try to implement it. On this day, I didn't have the Bible with me, so but I remembered where I was, in which reading I was, and I was about to start the book of James, and I said, oh, what am I going to do? And I feel really guilty when I
Yeah.
don't do it. And I said, I have to find a solution. Okay. So I got my phone. Um,
Yeah, you told me last time.
I went on ChatGPT
Yeah, you told me.
and I'm like, okay, ChatGPT, give me the first chapter of the book of James in the New Testament. And first it explained it to me, like, no, like actually give it to me. I want to read it. And it said the chapter, and then it's like, okay, if you want the next chapter, tell me. And I said, okay, let me go. And actually, it has become one of coincidentally, maybe because I read it in a different way, it has become one of my favorite ones because the amount of lessons there are in such a small um, reading is amazing. And I've also started like a Bible study. I haven't
Yeah.
started. I've joined a Bible study which a group of people have started lately. Which coincidentally we have our first meeting of a sequential array of meetings this Friday. It's basically a Bible study group for people in sport.
Interesting, huh?
Yes, it is amazingly interesting. It's a different perspective on how sports people can live and spread the word.
All right.
Um, and we see and we talk about the Bible. We're currently going to the Gospel of Mark, and there's a little book which is split up, and then there are different questions to like bring out a couple of thoughts on each verse, and it's crazy. Like we spent the first meeting we had when it was like an introductory. We spent 45 minutes on one verse, just trying to break it down. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah. I think knowledge is mostly found in books.
Yes, yes. I mean, at the end of the day, they're also eternal, and this is the. I mean, the Bible has been there for so long. It's has history in its writing,
It's
so it's
pure knowledge.
yes, and it's. I always try and say like, no matter what religion you come from, no matter if you follow a religion, if you follow what's written in the Bible, I'm not telling you believe it. I'm just saying follow it. So be happy, do good. If you're feeling sad, there's some guy in the sky who's there for you. So if you feel you have no one in the world, there's someone for you.
Yeah.
You
You sort of feel it, huh? You sort of feel it.
of course. I mean, if you look for it, you feel it.
Yeah.
Seek and you may find. Look and it will be revealed to you. Knock on the door and the door will be opened. You know, so it's simple quotes here and there, and it's all in front of us. It's all there, and we've been so. Um, the other day, I also used ChatGPT and I asked a question to ChatGPT, which is really interesting. I'm like, um, we're going on a tangent here, but it's interesting because I asked the question like, if you were the devil, what would you do to separate society from God? And it gives you a certain list. Like I won't say what it does, so anyone who's listening, who's watching, go and do it and see. Read the list of things which I think just look around. Open your eyes. Like literally open your eyes to it. And I mean it's all there. It's all there. And unfortunately we've been given such a traditional way of thinking and believing, and it's all like even when you go to mass, and I'm not saying anything against mass. I'm just saying if it were a bit more interactive,
Yeah, for sure.
rather than just going there and saying yes and saying what the next guy is telling you to say,
Yeah.
being more present, asking more questions, asking the why. Because if the priest is saying the homily and it doesn't touch me, I'm not going to get out anything out of that mass. But the priest wants it to touch everyone. So if you ask a question, I'm 100% sure that he will answer you. But we don't have that culture in the way we have been. The majority of the Maltese have been brought up to ask questions. I've been introduced. I mean, Portugal and introduced me to the evangelist way, the Jehovah Witnesses. Then I went recently in the beginning of summer. I went to New York, and I went to New York Times Square Church, and the way they have mass, the way they do the whole service. I went there, and it was 2 hours. It's an hour of just singing and an hour of the pastor saying, not just saying and people nodding. It's it's a conversation. It's part. There's participation.
It's fun. It's something to look forward to.
yes, and people go there because they enjoy it. How many people actually go to mass in Malta because we enjoy it. Now, I go to my favorite here in Malta is Nazareno at 7 o'clock.
Evening or morning?
More evening. Evening. There's Father Charles. So good. He doesn't say things which aren't translatable to us. He uses real life experiences and he asks. He's interacting. He asks the audience. So he gives you the mic. What do you think? Like it's back and forth. So it's that's what it should be, because at the end of the day, I believe that everyone should look for their truth through their experiences. It could be whatever they think, whatever they want, but as long as you're eternally curious, that is the beauty of it, because you're always gonna grow. The What we don't want is idleness. What you don't want is just to be comfortable. I mean, I think the comfort zone is very dangerous, because
Yeah.
you don't grow, and the comfort zone can leave you weak in the end. I think there needs to be growth, daily growth, and the Bible speaks of that. So it's, I
So
mean,
mentioning journaling,
yeah,
I want to pass on something to you right
yeah.
now.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna keep this as a tradition. Right. So we created a very basic journal
Okay.
for the simple reason
Yeah.
that I think journaling changed my life
Mm.
when it comes to different types of journaling. So you can write, you can vision. This is for you. Literally empty book.
Perfect.
It could be a start to something new.
Yeah.
You can write daily goals, achievements. Up to you. You can even write your Bible notes right there.
Yes.
You can have a listen.
I've actually always been like going in and out of journaling. So I'd go through a period of a few days journaling and then not journaling and then journaling. So I think hopefully this will give me a bit of a push to keep it constant now.
What's missing is a pen. So
Yes.
yeah, you have to unfortunately go buy one.
That's fine. I have a few at home.
So perfect. Issa, Mela. So one last question. I'm gonna ask you quick fire questions.
Yes.
So it's a bit fun
Yeah.
and can be a bit tempting.
One
Okay.
word answers.
Yeah, right answer.
Okay, one word or like a
Like a phrase.
thing.
A thing or a
okay,
thing.
the thing has two words.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
So, what's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Receive yourself.
Yourself.
Be yourself.
Be
Yeah.
yourself. All right. Interesting. Evening or afternoon match days?
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You don't like the
I mean,
the dark nights under the lights, you know?
they're
How it
nice.
goes?
I think my head. I love the evening matches. I love the evening matches. I hate the fact that I don't sleep after evening matches.
True.
So my head's going like the sleep next day won't be good, and then the next day I wake up
But
cranky.
the problem is, like, you don't play at 7, you play at 9. Then the
Yes.
game finishes at 11.
Exactly, and then
Shower.
I'm not going to sleep after. The adrenaline will
You're at
not.
home at like 1:30.
Exactly.
And
Forget
then
it.
what will
Forget
happen,
it.
you know?
Forget it. So I think from a football perspective, it's evening match. From a longevity perspective, my Oura ring and my whoop will say afternoon.
For sure. I agree with you, to be honest. So, favorite cheat meal. And I know you don't like cheating. by
Tarja
no means.
muqleb bite. Easy. So that's basically a classic Maltese.
Say it again. Ash.
Tarja muqleb bite.
Hard, huh? For me, it's hard.
It's like a Spanish tortilla,
Alright.
but there are no potatoes. It's basically pasta. Cook pasta al dente, because then it's going to cook a bit more. A couple of eggs,
Yeah,
cheese.
It's in the. Oh,
and then you fry it.
I've read. No. So
No,
something
you
totally
fry it.
different.
No, you fry it. You fry it, and it becomes like a. It's beautiful. It's like a nice pie, like that.
Like my ideal one would be like a fucking pizza, like the huge old cheesy type of shit. You know?
See, that's not me.
I know. That's why I asked.
I
That's
think
why
I
put
think
in this
I
question,
connect
you
it a lot with the nostalgic part. So it's like it's good, it tastes good, but it also feels good.
Yeah.
That's for me like a really good cheat meal.
know? Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next one. One word that describes your journey so far.
One word that's hard. I mean, unique.
Unique. Mine would be crazy, for sure. A roller coaster.
I mean, yes. But I think it's also unique for so many reasons. Unique for my background, my childhood, unique for what I've done, and unique for probably what's about to come up. So
For sure. And you're living in a world of I don't know again.
yes, yes, yes,
So
yes, yes,
and
constantly, constantly,
let's hope for the best.
constantly.
That's
Yes,
basically.
yes.
So that's nice. Who's the first person you'd call if you're celebrating a win? If it's life, if it's education, if it's a game, if it's
My
you can't get in trouble here, huh?
yes,
You have
one side will not be happy
Three
on
sides.
the
No,
other side.
two sides.
Yes, yes. I have many sides. Trust me, I have many sides.
All right, yeah.
I mean, the person I would have called a year ago would have been my grandfather, but he passed away very recently.
Oh, sorry to hear.
But he was always there. I mean, like I said, anything that's happened is um, has happened and has made me who I am.
How was it like?
He would be the guy. He was the only person I would call every single day without fault. And he's the person I would call after, or rather, speak to after matches.
Specific times?
He, I, he had specific times with everyone else. He didn't have a
Right.
specific time with me, because I was very like, I would call you at this time, and then at this time, and then this time. So I was like, it's fine. I'm going. He knows I'm going to call at any point during the day, so he'll be fine with it. But I would call him. When I say call, I say Facebook Messenger, so with video every single day.
Of course.
And he would know everything. Probably first guy to know everything.
And now,
I think it's hard. I think that's very hard.
because obviously, from going to someone you call every day.
Yes, yes. I think the next one will probably be my father, because of my parents. He's the more sporty one, and they've both been there in different ways. But I think my father is more associated with my football.
Girlfriend.
Um,
She's more like well done side, you know.
I don't. I mean, she would be one of the next ones I'd call,
Of course.
but I think because there's the lack of real understanding of sports. She knows how much it means to me. She doesn't know the actual meaning of the thing.
Totally understand.
You know what I
Totally
mean?
understand.
But she would be a quite close second or third. You know.
Trouble, huh?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think she
You're gonna
knows.
sleep on the
No. She knows. She knows.
on the pavement.
She knows. She knows.
So, if you would have dinner with one famous person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Yeah.
Has to be famous.
Anyone,
Anyone?
but someone who's known.
Okay. I would have said my grandmother, but anyway. Famous. Dead or alive?
Yeah.
I think just for. I mean, that's easy. No, that's easy. I was gonna go for someone like, I don't know, like Ronaldo or something. No, it's
Ronaldo.
very easy.
Yeah,
Jesus.
unique. Yeah, be unique. Yeah.
Jesus.
All right. Perfect.
Easy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I know this. I felt it.
I was thinking so mainstream, like people and footballers. No, Jesus.
felt it coming.
Yeah.
What is one app? I know it's coming. I'm gonna skip it.
You know what it is, yeah.
I want to still ask it. What's one app? One app you can't live without?
Now it's ChatGPT. I do everything on ChatGPT.
Really?
I know.
No, I thought it was gonna say Whoop.
No.
For sure.
ChatGPT. Now it's ChatGPT. Like I use the Whoop, but I've used them for so long that I understand my body now. So I do everything for a purpose. It's not just for me to understand. It's for me to understand how everything reacts to myself. So then I can use that in an informed way for what's coming next. So, I mean, I'm into functional nutrition and holistic health. So it's building up my database to be able to understand my future clients in the right way.
Perfect. So you know yourself.
Yes.
You managed to not monitor only by an app, but also by nature.
By nature, by feeling, by understanding your body. And that's a curious thing where when I mentioned the pasta and the nostalgic part.
Yeah.
Like lately I've been to the cinema and I had sweets. For like anyone who really knows me, like, yeah, Zach had sweets. Only recently I'm understanding that certain foods, which to me when I was younger trigger good memories, like cinema with family, family days out, which were different for me because,
Of
like I
course.
said, my parents were separated, so it's either with one side or the other side. But that was family for me. That's my norm. Um, Anything which pulls out nostalgia for me, the sleep I get after eating certain things like that, the best sleep, the highest REM, the best deep sleep, and I couldn't understand it, because like this happened. The epiphany, like the aha moment was I went to a barbecue with a friend of mine, and I got dessert over, he had dessert, and
What
he's
was it?
like,
What was
so I had, I got a cheesecake, but he had like hello torque, and
Ah,
that's amazing. That for me is like,
what's it in English? Maybe we can translate.
ooh, I
Uh,
don't know. It's made with like tahini. Um, it's a Turkish sweet, but not
yeah,
Turkish delight. 'Cause Turkish delight it's something else.
exactly.
Um, it's hard to describe.
I don't know.
I don't think there is because helwa torque.
Exactly.
Um, but it's a nostalgic thing for me, and I had so much, and I had so much sweets, and I slept so good. And I woke up the next day, and my aura was like, amazing sleep. The whoop was like
What the
amazing
fuck
sleep.
happened?
The Apple Watch, great sleep. And I'm like, why? What is that? And basically, I started testing, and I was like sometimes having sweets at night, sometimes having pasta at night, and yes, there's the fact that the carbohydrates at night trigger like a better release of melatonin. They give you a bit more of a steadier, depending on what you have,
Yeah.
a steadier blood sugar during your sleep. So you aren't woken up, or it's more consistent. But then there's this nostalgia part. There's the nostalgic part is like it's mind blowing.
I want to mention one thing because you're mentioning all these words.
Yeah,
I'm not too upgraded on that
yeah,
educationally. So I'm gonna mention this to all the cameras. It's not as easy as you think to make it pro. And this guy made it to one of the biggest levels. He didn't want to end it like this in a way.
yeah.
And he still sacrificed education. So before you want to master something, you have to educate yourself. So what I'm missing if I want to master something is education.
Yes,
So
definitely,
that's,
definitely.
that's very important.
It's the curious thing is that I went to university to become an architect.
All right.
Then I
All
got
right.
my I got my
Different, huh?
bachelor's.
Very
Yes,
different.
very, very different. I went to sixth form wanting to go into computing. Then I went into university wanting to go into architecture. Then I got my BSc. I started working and studying in interior design, and then football came along. I just had to continue on the interior design
Yeah.
part, or rather, football came along and I had to adapt into interior design. Um, and now I was like, no, 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 this isn't for me. I need something where, I mean, interior design can come down the road,
Yeah.
but I need something which I relate to way more,
It's
which my
not.
name is linked to.
Yeah.
And when you speak to people, you speak to, he's so healthy, so healthy, so healthy. And I had to link it that way. And the health part and the longevity part, like, I consider myself a mini version of a biohacker. All the things I do, all the things I experiment with. Um, and I've managed to in the last couple of years get enough credentials to move forward as a health and wellness coach and a functional nutrition coach. And
Interesting, huh? It's very interesting.
it is very interesting. It's very interesting. It's a niche market which needs to be tapped into. We're all going towards that. I think Malta needs that education a
For sure,
lot,
for sure.
and I think there are already budding practitioners here and there. And basically, my vision is to unite all these and have an educational front to be able to educate the Maltese in the best way forward health wise, because I don't believe in the traditional way of medicine, the
Yeah,
allopathic method. And I think it's all going towards the functional way. We are all unique. There is no way that what works for me works for you. And because we are unique, we live unique lifestyles. We live in different places, so the environment is different. So there can't be a one size fits all. I think that's where we're going through, and I think that hopefully I'll be able to use whatever platform required
yeah,
to give this information and um, be the best version of myself to be able to help people to transform into their best version of their self.
yeah. So ChatGPT is your go-to.
ChatGPT, I'm doing everything on ChatGPT. From recipes to training programs to Bible quotes and everything. Everything for me is on ChatGPT at the moment. Yeah.
So, Zach, last question of the quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Would you rather have unlimited time or unlimited money?
Time.
One word.
Time.
Time, for sure. Agree. Now, closing off this podcast. Obviously, it was great. It was great for you to have the privilege, and I have the privilege for you to be here. It's something that I've been working for around 4 months now, and I've been waiting for this moment for 3 years. Thank you so much for attending. Now, obviously, I'll be having more guests
Yeah.
on board, and I have this journal right here for whoever is watching. The visuals of this podcast. Okay, it's a empty journal. Another one. I wrote a short message. Okay, to the future of this. Today is the 15th. Blah blah blah. As the first time we're filming. This book is a journal where we'll be asking the guest to write a short note and leave the question for the next guest. Okay, Champions Connect will be massive. Mark my words. That's gonna be something where I think it will hit. Now you're gonna leave a message for the podcast.
Okay.
So anything for the future, it's now where you see us. Literally just a one or two sentences. You're gonna leave a question for the next guest. Something if it's personal, if it's you can go wild.
Yeah.
Sign, and we can close off. We'll do this after.
Okay.
So we'll close this down. I'd like to thank you so much. This has been a very interesting conversation.
Definitely. I think thank you for having me as the first guest. I think you'll have many guests coming on, but you'll have one first guest, and it's a
For sure.
privilege to have that. And I think that if you translate your confidence in the whole project, I think you're already 3/4 of the way there.
Thanks so
So
much.
I'm confident this will be a big thing. I think we Maltese need something like this. It's something fresh, something new, and I think many people will be in my seat in the future, giving different perspectives, different behind the curtains, behind the scenes.
For sure.
So definitely looking forward to following what's next.
Thanks so much. I'd just like to remind you guys to like, subscribe, leave a comment on whatever platform you are, if it's Spotify, YouTube, wherever we're going to be launching this. So please leave a like, a comment, and please subscribe. Zach, thanks one more time. I'd like to shake your hand because this is going to be something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life for sure. Champions Connect, out.